I did not see that coming. You know that part that I'm talking about? I didn't see that coming. And then at the end, I didn't see that part coming. With Bartiz, I saw that coming. All right, let's just talk about it. All right, welcome to Taste Take. If you're new here, we're breaking down the new Netflix show, Perfect Match. I did the first 4 episodes, then the second 4 episodes, and today we're breaking down the last 4 episodes, 9, 10, 11, and 12. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular Taste Takers, I didn't think of a dad joke for 2 weeks in a row. I will make it up in future videos. I'm sorry. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so in episode 8, we ended off with my BFF Chloe. She's finally realizing that Mitchell is not it. And they got control of the board. So in her head, she knows that when she gets up in there, if she sees Shane, she's gonna go on a date with him. Boom, episode 9. Before we get back to the boardroom, we're in the house. And this is when the whole crew is playing that dancing game where one person does something and the next person has to do that first thing and then add a new thing. And then for some reason, when it gets to Damien, he decides to start twerking. And then, did y'all already know he used to be a stripper? Where did that come from? Like, that was crazy. So we find that out. Well, I found that out. Maybe I already knew that. But we find that out. And then he proceeds to then strip. Yeah, he just takes all his clothes off. We see his pale white ass. And then he jumps in the water. Not too long after, Carousel takes off her clothes and jumps in right after him. Then Joey takes off his clothes and, by his definition, is ready to unveil all 2 inches of it. Dom takes his clothes off. A couple of them don't take their clothes off, but the point is, they all just jump in the pool. So everyone's in the water going crazy, and Ernest, who you may remember, is still matched up with Damien. She's trying to have like a nice moment with him. So she's like saying all this like nice romantic French stuff, and he's not listening at all. So he's like, she finishes this nice little speech, and he's like, I just love the way you say things. Damien, I guess he could have been a stripper. Honestly, he's more interested in making Francesca jealous. So like whatever he does with Ines is just to make Francesca look. But she's not looking. She's too busy in the corner making out with Carousel. And if you remember from the last week, Francesca made a new match with Abby. She supposedly liked this girl, but Abby not so cool with watching her girl make out with Carousel. And plus like Abby's like new to the whole like dating women thing. So she's probably like, this is how it's supposed to go? Later on, we get a conversation between Mitchell and Dom. And Mitchell, for some reason, feels the need to tell Dom that he's feeling Georgia. When did you even talk to her? Like, so then Dom's like, yeah, you know, like, I respect it. Shoot your shot, but I'm gonna play defense. That's my Dom impression. It could be terrible. Naturally, in true Dom fashion, he runs and tells Georgia all of this. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, if you get with Dom, he gonna tell you all the tea. So the whole next morning, Francesca's avoiding Abby like the plague. She knows she's in trouble. And Abby's like, have y'all seen Francesca? I've been trying to talk to her. She's nowhere to be found. Francesca finally comes down the stairs, trying to get ahead of it, talking about, oh man, last night was crazy. I was so drunk. Girl, you know what you did. So Abby finally makes an appointment to have a conversation with, you know, like the girl she matched with. And she's like, hey, can I talk to you about that whole, like, you making out with Carousel thing? And then Francesca, in her typical I hate you face, she's just like, oh yeah, we do that sometimes.
I beg your pardon?
Okay, now we're back at the board with Chloe and Mitchell. They got control. And this whole time, Chloe has to pretend that she doesn't know, that she just wants to go on a date with Shane. It's kind of like when you go to the mall and you get those free samples, and when you're eating it, you gotta look like, you know, you're pretending to order something, but you're just there for the free sample. So Chloe's like, all right, let me see who would be a good match to go on a date. Let me see. So they're going through this whole song and dance, but the first person they put up is Diamond. And in my head, I'm like, yo, pick Zay. Like, that might work. And they're like, who should it be? So they bring up Calvin. And I'm like, you know what? That might work. But I still think Zay. And also, there's some level of some form of racism. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something in there. But they're like, nah, no Calvin, get him out of there. And I'm like, yeah, pick Zay. So then they bring Zay down and they're like, what about Diamond and Zay? And I'm like, yeah, that's the one. And they're like, nah, that's not the one. And I'm like, what the hell? That was the one. And then they bring Bartise. And he's like, he got a little black in him. So it's still kind of a little bit mini racist, just a little bit. But for some reason, they think that this would be a good match. I'm screaming at the TV. The whole world knows it's a terrible idea. Anyway, we're back at the house, and Francesca, who, might I remind you, kicked Damien to the curb for her new match, Abby, has now made her way over to Damien and starts twerking in front of him.
That's suspicious.
Then Mitchell comes back to the house alone, and they're like all pretending to be shocked, like, huh, where's Chloe? Like, girl, you know where Chloe's at. So he's like, yeah, she's doing the thing. Anyway, Diamond, you're going on a date, so get ready. And then here go Will, pretending to be concerned, like, no, just have an open mind. Will, you don't like Diamond, and it's just fine. Just shut up. Okay, so then we see Chloe on her date with Shane. So when she pulls up, Shane is like all happy to see her, and I guess it's cute or whatever. And they got a monkey, so like, yeah, it's cute. It's fine. The date is good. Nothing bad happens. It's fine. Also, let me ask y'all a question. The people who get sent home, like, they come back sometimes. Like, they can get called back. But, like, what are they doing when they're, like, behind the scenes? Like, they're not going home. Like, is Netflix flying them back? Like, hey, someone picked you for a date. Like, get on the next flight to Panama. Like, they could just keep them there in Panama the whole time and just be, like, on standby. But then, like, if they're all on standby, then what are they doing? Like, where's the footage? Like, are they turning up? Like, hooking up? Is that, like, a whole nother show? Y'all wasn't thinking that? They can't go home. They could go home. They're not going home. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the other date. We got Bartise and Diamond. And not only does this girl have no idea that she has no chance with this dude, but it turns out that she actually kind of likes him. Double whammy. Bartise has never liked a black girl in his entire life. And I can't prove that, so don't even waste your time fact checking me. So everyone's back at the house now, and Bartise is getting a lot more love than I thought he would. Not from Ines, of course, but from everyone else. They were like, oh shit, Bartise. And I'm like, how's everyone getting fooled by this dude? Anyway, on a side note, Francesca grabs Carousel to the side, probably wants to make out again, but like, she's just like, hey, I like Damien again. And Carousel's like, a real friend would be like, girl, you idiot. No, you don't. But she's like, yeah, you should like, just like go for what you want. Like, Carousel, you kind of cool, but your loyalty to Francesca for no reason is annoying. Then Chloe tries to fake everyone out when she comes back to the house alone. She's like, oh, Shane told me you couldn't do it, so I'm here alone. Which, like, I wasn't fooled for a second, and the people in the house kind of were, but I'm like, you idiots, like, that wasn't believable. But then I realized that they're not watching the show, so they don't even know that they went on a date with a monkey. So
how would they know?
All right, a couple random conversations here. Will grabs Francesca, and she's giving him her patented I hate you face. And I didn't realize it until right then, but this dude Will is giving me major Andrew Tate vibes. I'm gonna keep my eyes on that. Then a little bit later, Francesca makes it clear that her and Abby are over. Then you got a conversation between Ines and Damien, and she's dropping more poetry on him, basically telling him how, like, there's good love and bad love. Like, which love do you think Francesca is? And he's, of course, ignoring all of it. Ines decides to finally go home. I mean, she doesn't match with the whole damn show. The only person she didn't match with was Nick Lachey, and I think he's married. Also, are y'all paying attention to the soundtrack in this show? Like, after a moment happens, like, Netflix is playing some heat. If you listen to the lyrics after a conversation, like, I hope y'all pay attention to that, because it's like, Netflix is in their bag. I see you, Netflix. All right, then Mitchell grabs Georgia to shoot a shot, and this conversation is so stupid, and I wouldn't waste y'all time talking about it, but I have to address the fact that I think that Mitchell is saying fjerking instead of the F word. I rewinded it. He's saying it, and I don't think Netflix closed captioning knows what to do with that. And since I'm here, Georgia does shut him down, but she starts off by saying, I would never do that to Chloe, which, why is that even a thing? Like, Chloe's your friend, but Chloe don't want him anymore. Like, why not just say, I'm happy with Dom? No thanks, Mr. Mitchell. I mean, she does eventually say, like, me and Dom are good, but like, why ain't leave with that? Huh? Why ain't leave with that? Then we pull up for a field trip at Mistake headquarters because Abby's about to shoot her shot at Bartise. Again, the whole world is shouting at their TVs, no, don't do it. But I don't think I don't think she could hear us. Don't forget, Bartiz just went on a date with Diamond, and for whatever reason, she's kind of feeling this dude. So she's about to pull up on him, get some one-on-one time, see where his head's at, and boom, she walks in to a freaking makeout sesh between Bartiz and Abby. So she walks away. It's not funny. It's like, why do they keep bringing these black girls here just to get played? It's not right. Then to make it worse, after that conversation, she goes back to her original match, Will, and he's like, hey, just let me stop you right there. Like, I'm feeling Francesca. This girl's getting cooked. And I guess the craziest part of this episode is sponsored by Francesca, because she's minding her business, talking to Damien. Will is over there talking to Joey, and Joey like hypes him up to go interrupt and try to shoot his last little shot at Francesca before it's too late. So he's like, all right, say less. I'm on my way. He runs over there and he's like, can I interrupt? And Damien's like, all right, bro, do your thing. So Francesca pretty much shuts him down. And she tells him that her and Damien are going to try to work this out and try to match. But before it's all said and done, on the goodbye hug, I know y'all heard it, Francesca tells Will, I'll see you outside of this. What? What a sneaky little sneak. And I don't know why. I kind of respect it. Damn. I mean, it's messed up, but like, she just stays so true to her crazy self. This episode ends with Joey and Carousel having the closest thing they've had to a fight, because she's asking them, like, what's going to happen after this? Like, can we move in together? Are we going to settle down? Or what's up? And then Joey's like, I don't know about all that. I kind of just want to live a crazy life. So just hold that thought. Boom, episode 10. This one starts out with the last challenge of the show. And this is where they have to guess how their partners would answer a series of true or false questions to see how well they know each other. So the questions are like, does your partner want to get married in the next couple of years? Does your partner want to have kids in the next couple of years? Does your partner want to have sex at least 4 times a week? Would your partner relocate for you? Would your partner be a part of an open relationship? And then at the end, like, does your partner think that you're their perfect match? So the important part of this whole challenge was that Francesca was the only one that said that she'd be willing to be in an open relationship. That all checks out. The unimportant part of that challenge is at the very end, when they're talking about the perfect match question. And they're showing the cast like kind of like talk through their answers. So they get to Carousel and she's like, yeah, I think Joey would say I'm his perfect match and all that. And then when they cut to Joey, he's giving some feedback, but the question that's on the screen is the open relationship question. So it's like a little editing trickery by Netflix, and it should have edited it better. You should have like cropped that a little different so I couldn't see that. Bartiz and Abby end up in last place in this challenge, and they're acting like they just found out that the only college they applied to rejected them. Like, y'all been matched for 16 minutes. You might not know some of these answers. The winners of this challenge are, of course, Joey and Carousel, with Shane and Chloe right behind them in second place. So that was a good job, Chloe. I know it was all you. And as usual, the winners of the challenge get a one-on-one romantic date. And they sent Joey and Carousel to get snow cones. Like, I think they could have did that in the house and just got a little quiet room somewhere. It's like, that's the romantic date, going to get snow cones. Snow cones are like $2. Like, give them a little something extra. It's Panama. Back at the house, they're all realizing that Francesca was the only person that said yes to being open to an open relationship, which they're kind of bullying her. Like, it's kind of impressive for her to like speak her truth and be the only one. That groupthink is a serious thing. So like, shout out to her for being like true to herself. And like I said, in the boardroom, of course, Joey and Carousel have control, but this time, I think for the first time, they get to bring one guy and one girl. So they decide to break up Abby and Bartiz and send them both on dates. So they're gonna send Bartiz on a date with Elsie. She's from Love is Blind. I don't even barely remember her. She's so forgettable. And Abby's gonna go on a date with Nick, the OG from the house. Like, you just can't get rid of this dude. He's gonna be back. So for the Bartiz and Elsie date, they're just like walking around town trying on hats. Like, they all look stupid because Bartiz just looks stupid. And then they do that same like lock thing. I think they did this on the last Love is Blind, where they like write something on a lock and then lock it to the other locks. And then they threw the key in the water again. It's like, that's pollution. I said it last time. The fish don't like that. Nick and Abby are on their beach date playing bocce ball. I hope I said that right. And their date was kind of like an elementary school. No chemistry. Get it? Because like in elementary school, you're like too young to learn chemistry. So it's like a wordplay. It's like, you get it? They get it. Back at the house, it looks like Chloe wants to write a special rap or poem for Shane. So she recruits Georgia to do it with her. Like, it's just a nice little moment, man. Look at Chloe. So inspirational. All right, then the date couples come back from their dates. And I have to address this because Bartiz is the worst dressed person I've ever seen on TV. He just throws on an ugly short sleeve button up shirt, some khaki shorts, some leprechaun shoes, and just goes outside living his life. It's disgusting. Anyway, it's just two totally different entrances when they get back in the house. Because when Nick comes back in the house, it's like, and when Elsie comes in the house, it's like, then it's time for the Chloe and Georgia rap poem presentation thing. Georgia goes first. This might be the worst rap I've ever seen in my entire life. It doesn't take anything away from Georgia. We still love you over here at Tate's Take. I just have to address that. Chloe, on the other hand, drops a very nice poem rap thing that Shane may never deserve. All right, now we have this episode's craziest moment, brought to us by our sponsor Shane and whatever brand of steroids he uses. Let me set the scene up. So everyone's just hanging out at the house, right? So it's Shane, Elsie, and I think Nick. And they're just talking. So Elsie's new to the house. So she's like, catch me up. What's all the hot goss? So Shane's like, yeah, I matched with Chloe. I love Chloe. She's the homie, man. Like, that's dope. There was a time for a quick second where like her ex came back and she left me for him. But then like she came back to me and told me that, yeah, yeah, I'm done with that guy. Like, so now we've been really good. I don't know where Elsie came from with all this. Cause she's like, wait a minute. She left you for her ex? And Shane's like, yeah, she did. But it was like for just a quick little second. Then she came back to me and we all good now. So then Elsie's like, I don't know, man. Seems a little shady if you ask me. I don't think anyone asks you. But like, you know, it's like how Shane is. Like, you can't tell him stuff like that. Because one minute he could be cool. And then the next minute. So Bruce Banner over here walks up to Chloe. And instead of saying, oh my God, babe, thanks so much for writing that beautiful poem for me. Wow, no one's ever done anything like that. I can't believe you did that. You wrote that all by yourself and then performed it in front of all of our friends. That's so brave. Nope. He acts like none of that even happened. And he's like, you know what's really messed up is how you left me for Mitchell like a week ago. And she's like, huh? What are you even talking about? Then this creep has the nerve to bring up how he got splashed by the pool water after they went up to the room. Like, he brought that back. Okay, one, you idiot. She didn't splash you on purpose. That was just a happy accident for the viewers at home. Thank you again, Netflix. And two, literally last episode, you were talking to Mitchell and he brought that up and you both laughed about it. You didn't think I saw that, did you? We don't miss nothing over here at Tate's Take. So now Chloe's all sad. And one thing you don't do is make Chloe sad. Not on my watch. And she's like, you're making it sound like I'm a shit person and I'm not. And he's like, you kind of are.
What? Oh no, she did not.
Then this creep Shane is sitting with Francesca trying to tell her this story. Francesca could not care any less than to listen to this. So all of a sudden he's telling her this stupid story and Chloe walks up and catches this dude like a deer in the headlights. Like, I've never seen his eyeballs so crazy. At this point, they are now literally in my living room. Like, look at this. Like, what? Y'all saw this part. This part was crazy. And that's kind of how the episode ends. Like, Shane on this stupid temper tantrum, Chloe all sad, and then Shane kicking and screaming about how he wants to go home now. Boom, episode 11. And Netflix, do me a favor. If someone threatens to go home on episode 10, don't be showing his face on the episode 11 avatar. We ain't got no other pictures. Use another picture, leave me in suspense. Nah, I know he's still there. I hate when they do that. Why would they do that? Not think about the viewer. A little mystery, please. That's feedback. There's a little feedback. Anyway, we're still on this Shane rage. This whole thing should be a giant red flag for Chloe, but I'm afraid it won't be enough. But for right now, we got Dom and Georgia to step in and try to keep the peace. I don't know. I just think maybe this dude Shane isn't good for anyone. It's the same song and dance over and over. Fall in love, rage out, apologize, rage out, apologize, rage out. Like, somewhere out there right now, Natalie's screaming like, I feel seen. And honestly, I know I'll be joking around with Shane having roid rage and all that, but I really hope he doesn't. Because, like, if he's willing to act this crazy in front of Netflix cameras, I don't even want to know what he's doing at his house. Anyway, Shane apologizes and he tells Chloe that she can trust him. It's not true though. Like, she can't. Next up is when Nick Lachey comes out and tells everyone in the house that everyone that they done kicked out before is coming back for one last rodeo. And that's cool. We would have expected this in any quality dating show. Like, you got to have the one last hurrah. But one thing I will say is that it felt like the producers just told them all, like, look, go in there and try to be overly flirty and try to mess up relationships. Like, which is like part of the game. I get it. But it was like, you could tell for some people it wasn't natural. So it just felt like This is not going to work. It was good to see Savannah back, though. I mean, Francesca wasn't happy about it because she told Damien if he talks to her, she'll kill him. I mean, she's literally telling Damien, don't talk to Savannah, and then 30 seconds later, sneaking off to talk to Will. You got to give this girl credit. Like, she's playing this villain role to the T. I just wonder if Will is cool with Francesca and this open relationship stuff. Because it seemed to me that Andrew Tate over there will be cool to have an open relationship for himself, but that his girl got to keep that thing all the way closed. But I can't prove that. I could be wrong, but I could be right. So again, all these castaways are there just to fuck shit up, and they're not doing a good job, except for Izzy. She finds Bartise again. And don't forget, Bartise is matched with Abby, and they've been grooving, minus that little hiccup at the challenge. Like, they're good together, and they said that at the end of all this, they want to be matched up together. Spoiler alert, Bartise was lying. Because Bartise is always going to be Bartise. And he thought that when Izzy came back, she would hate him for how he played her. But no, she was understanding of how the game works. She's cool with them, and she's willing to give her another try. So that caught Bartise off guard. So he's like, wait a minute, you don't hate me? We're going to get back to Bartise and Izzy. Don't you worry. I have to address this episode's craziest moment, brought to us by our sponsor, Francesca. Yeah. She's back again. So boom, the whole thing here is that Damien has been saying like, man, I can't even get like some real alone time with Francesca, see where her head's at, you know, wine and diner, all that stuff. So he's like, all right, let me set some fire shit up. Like, he sets up this romantic room date. So he's got a whole bunch of rose petals on the ground in the bedroom, on the mattress, all that stuff. And he brings her up there so they could talk. You know, he's like, she never gets serious with me. And that's because she doesn't like you. But he doesn't know that. So he sits her down and he's like, Francesca, I really like you. And I want to take it to the next level. I want you to be my girl. And Francesca's like, bro, like, why do you even like me? You don't even know me. Yikes. We all had to watch that. He poured his heart out and she stepped on it. But she's right though, because like, he doesn't know her, and the real Francesca, he would not even like. Like, he's like a nice guy that would like love to take his girl home to his mom. And I don't think Francesca is the type of girl that he wants to take home to his mom. I'm not saying she's not a girl you could take home to your mom. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, based on what I know, he wouldn't be into that. But he's just blinded by her hotness. And I said this in another video. It's the same thing. We do this all the time. We're blinded by hotness. We're willing to let so many things go just because someone is hot. I said this in some other video. It's like when you're in the grocery store and like, let's say you're walking down the aisle and then boom, someone hits the back of your ankle with the shopping cart. Your Achilles tendon is all messed up. And you're like, what the hell? And you turn around and you see that the person's hot. You're like, well, damn, sometimes I just gotta be more careful where I'm walking because sometimes I walk a little slow. So that was probably on me. You come here often and get groceries and stuff? But if they got hit and they turned around and they thought that person was ugly, it'll be all sorts of FUs and watch where you're going and let me talk to the managers. Like, you know what I'm talking about. This last scene here is with Abby and Bartise, and I hope y'all are paying attention because this was a masterclass in gaslighting. Now, she is kind of an idiot for even picking him, but maybe she don't know him like how we do. And I don't think anyone in the house even warned her. And I don't even think the people in the house even think he's whack like we do. But here he is gaslighting her to kingdom come. And like I said, she was dumb for even picking him, but she's the smartest person in the house because she's the first person to call him out for how dumb he's gonna look on TV. He's just being super condescending here, not realizing at any point like, maybe I messed this up. Like, we did have an agreement, but then you could have just said like, damn, like that's my bad. I wasn't expecting Izzy to come back and be cool with me, I just want to explore this. I'm sorry I let you down. I know this looks terrible, but I gotta follow my heart. No, he just doubles down on being a jerk and tries to make her feel bad. And for that, Bartise, you suck. Boom, episode 12, the last episode, the finale. We're finally gonna figure out who is the perfect match. But first, we gotta finish up this conversation between Abby and Bartise. And here's where basically she's like, look, bro, you just do stuff for the cameras. And he's like, oh, really? I do stuff for the cameras? Well, last night, you were the one that's talking about you can't do this because of your mom and your sister watching. And that's when she was like, wow, the things I told you in confidence, you're gonna weaponize? That's crazy. And it is crazy because what she was talking about was not wanting to like smash and do sexy things on camera because like her whole family is watching, which like, I get it, like it's reality TV, like yeah, but your family don't want to see that shit. So Bartise, you idiot, like what she's talking about is something totally different. But you're trying to make her look stupid. But you're stupid. Izzy pulls up in this conversation like, y'all good? And Abby's like, girl, you can have him. I'm out of here. So now the only woman smart enough to figure out Bartise for the little sleazeball he is out of here. The next day, all the little castaways are all trickling out one by one. If it was me, I'd probably be the last one there. I'll drink all their little drinks, eat all their food. I'd be like, we really got to go? I'll just be there lingering with no match. I'll be out there just chilling. But so they all leave, and the only person that gets to stay is Izzy. So like, shout out to her. I mean, she's kind of dumb for picking Bartise, but she's 22. She doesn't act young. She's like a little mature for her age, but it's like, girl, like you're on a show with people who've been on Love is Blind, where like they already proposed. You're in your Netflix reality show prime, like just live a little. Like you don't need this. And before I said that Bartise has never liked a black girl, it's not that Izzy don't count, but like, you know? So now the show has their final couples that will be competing in the last little challenge to become the perfect match. And they get to go on one last date before it's all over. Nick and Elsie go on some boring date where Nick tells her like, honestly, you're not my perfect match. That was the least shocking moment of this whole episode. Bartise and Izzy go on their date, and it's like they're just realizing for the first time that he lives in Texas and she lives in Manchester. How is this gonna work? Just end it right now, girl. Chloe and Shane have their date, and hopefully this dude took his meds. Chloe tells him like, look, bro, you have your highs and your lows. But Chloe, what about you? Your lows are nowhere near his. How is that fair to you to be putting up with his lows? Because his lows go low, like low, like Lilo and Stitch, low. Psycho Shane tells her like, look, in my past relationships, I made the same mistake where I would always have to come first. With you, I want you to come like close to first. Not like I would put you first, but you'd be much closer than the rest of the other girls that I dated. Like just like right there. You'd be, you see how close? This dude is romantic. But she falls for it. She tells him when she's with him, she feels like a princess. And girl, if that's true, he must be Bowser. The Dom and Georgia date is fine. Like they're still going well, but like they even live further apart than Bartise and Izzy. Because if she's really in Australia and he's really in Canada, you know? And now on to this episode's craziest moment, brought to us by our sponsor, Joey. And he's a first-time sponsor, so this should be good. And perhaps this is the crazy moment of these last 4 episodes. We're here on this date between Joey and Carousel, fresh off that little dust up between them about him not wanting to settle down, or not knowing if he wants to settle down. Out of the freaking blue, after all that drama, this dude Joey gets down on one knee and proposes to freaking Carousel on television. What? Like, I was shocked. I did the jaw drop thing, and I think she was too, because that looked like a realistic reaction if you watch that back. Like, she looked like she had no idea this was happening. Like, it was like a nice little moment, man. I'm glad Joey pulled that off with like the producers and all that, because I'm like, damn, like, why am I like happy for these people, man? Like, I'm supposed to be just reporting the play-by-play for the viewers. I'm not supposed to be invested in this stuff. But I was like, damn, I'm happy for y'all. You know? And then we still got to vote for the perfect match. Like, what a flex they have to say like, hey, are any of y'all engaged? I ain't think so. All right, now we're here at the voting stage. All the castaways are back again because they're going to be the ones that's voting on who's the perfect match. Bartise is still dressed like an idiot, and Damien looks like he just came from a Magic Mike XXL audition. They're both tied for worst dressed. So they go couple by couple, and everyone in the crowd gets to say their last little piece. Like, for example, when they get to Chloe and Shane, Mitchell speaks up with that frog voice, and he's like, I guess he says he doesn't believe in their relationship, but like stuff like that. People get to just raise their hand and say their final piece. Like, if you don't think these people are a perfect match, speak now or forever hold your peace. So when they get to Dom and Georgia, it's a little interesting right here, because Chase speaks up and says that he doesn't believe this is a real relationship, which is kind of crazy because I don't think anyone has challenged them since the beginning. And for as much shit that I'd be giving Chase for being crazy, he might be the most honest person on this whole show. And I'm not saying I don't believe in the relationship, but I don't think he was saying something crazy. But everyone there tried to bully him because like no one else spoke up. It's kind of like when Francesca said she's in open relationships and all that stuff. Like, so Chase is there on an island by himself, and he's like, look, I'm saying what I said. Like, Dom, you don't remember when you said if it's not Francesca, you just going home, and then 20 minutes later you match with Georgia? I just think that's kind of crazy. And that is a good call out. Shane takes this moment to stand up for Dom, and he's like, look, I don't care what anybody says. When I needed him, that guy was there for me. And that's not important because like Shane is not defending the relationship. He's just saying that Dom is a good dude. So I wouldn't even be bringing this up if it wasn't for the fact that when Dom points back, he's like this. Did you see his finger? He's like, you're the man. Like, because it was like he couldn't point straight. That's pretty childish of me, but you guys didn't notice that? So at this point, no one knows the Joey and Carousel news. So when they get to them, they finally reveal the engagement. Everyone is super happy for them, including Chase, who speaks up and he's like, now that's the real relationship. So like, it's not even that Chase is a hater. He just sees what he sees. But after all the votes are counted, it turns out that none other than Dom and Georgia are chosen as the perfect match. They win by 1 vote. It's a very shocking conclusion. We all expected Joey and Carousel to be the perfect match, which would have been a crazy thing to like win that and then Joey proposed. But I guess he's like, if we don't win, I would look stupid. So like, great job getting ahead of it, Joey. So yeah, at the whole time I've been asking like, what do they even win? So Nick Lachey tells Dom and Georgia like they get a week vacation anywhere they want in the world, all expenses paid. I think they said that they want to go to the Maldives. He has no idea where that is, but she'll like help him, you know? Where would y'all want to go if you won this perfect match challenge? Like, that's a good little award. That's a good treat. And that's really it. That's the whole season of Perfect Match. Thanks for hanging with me these last 3 videos, 12 episodes of crazy Netflix reality content. I hope they drop some more stuff soon. Love is Blind, come back. Ultimatum was a cool show. I'll be interested in seeing that come back. But for all the new followers, subscribers, there's a lot of new people that joined the channel that didn't even know me before. And I didn't know y'all. And now we're here together. It's like me and you are a perfect match. That's really cool. As always, thanks for checking out Taste Take. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, I done asked you guys a lot of stuff earlier in the video, but like you can answer that stuff. Like at the end, I just asked you where you would go if you won the challenge. And then I guess what else should I be, reviewing, reacting to, recapping? What kind of stuff you want to see? Damn. These are so long and y'all be watching them, man. I appreciate that. That's love. Thanks for the time, y'all. Peace.